We're gonna do stuff a little different from what we normally do. We always normally try to talk about family and the different updates that we have, but now we're gonna do stuff a little different, expressive life different for us. We're not trying to say for how everybody else should be and live and stuff, but how we do stuff, okay? So today, in celebration of our 3-year anniversary,
3 years, brother.
we just want to talk about our marriage thus far, how it works for us thus far, and our transition from boyfriend, girlfriend to husband and wife, how it worked for us.
Once we reunited at PV, man, I never thought I would ever get to this point with her because that wasn't in my mind. I was in band. Come on now, I was marching from sun up to sundown all day. Not even marching. I was outside, man. Like we didn't get out of practice until like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't thinking about my future with this girl. Come on now, like especially Jerica.
I'm a woman now, so speak respectfully.
The transition was, of course, we did have our little rough patch, but honestly speaking, and I'm gonna go ahead and spit this out. Honestly speaking, it was a patience thing
For Tevin,
for me personally. You ain't have to tell that.
because it wasn't a patience thing for me. It was a having to not be so naive for me.
Mm. I take ownership in my
Yeah,
part.
cool.
So the word patience was very important to me in the transition. And it was in the middle of our 3rd year of in our relationship where the rough patch came for me personally. So it was a patience thing where everything was falling down. And then once everything got back together and we got things together, and then transitioned into getting more serious with each other, I was getting happy. I was happy. Personally, I can't speak for her, but I was happy afterwards because I really tuned in, or should I say, really grasped the concept of having patience. Patience is
You know
that's
why I
my
think you
turning
didn't
point
have
in life.
patience?
That was my turning point in life.
You didn't have patience because, like you just said a while ago, you wasn't looking for more. You was just, okay, today we're girlfriend, boyfriend. Today we're girlfriend, boyfriend. But once you started to grow up, I learned you. You got patient.
Everybody's not like you. Basically, everybody's not like you. You are your own person. So that's what I had to work on. And it wasn't a bumpy road. It was it was smooth with a big hill. But once we got over that hill, it wasn't a mountain like we were just not gonna make it at all. But it was a big hill. Once we got over that hill, that little big hill, it was straightforward then. Plain lands after that. I was cool.
Yeah. For me, what helped me for the transition of girlfriend to wife is I was never. I never really spoke my mind. Like if I would see something, I wouldn't say nothing about it. I would let it go, and unfortunately, that would hurt me. But now, baby, let me tell you, I will, I will call anything out, and that was for me. Period. With the way I live my life, and that's just not with you. That was for anybody. I will call anything out and say how I feel because me holding in my feelings is not good for me and not healthy for people that surround me.
Midway, I wasn't looking for trying to fight to keep her either.
Yes, he was. Because he should have let me go. Like, as bad as he had gotten, he don't understand that he did. But as bad as it was, he should have let me go. Dang, we kind of look alike. Ooh,
I wasn't looking for my wife, man. I wasn't looking for no wife. I wasn't looking for this. I don't care about all this. I was in a band. I was in school. I was in school a long time. So
when Tevin asked me to marry him, of course, it was like, oh, for real? It shocked me. He shocked me. Like, we talked about it's after being together for so long with someone, you talk about those things, but like it shocked me because I didn't know like when it was happening. I didn't notice that he was acting a little different. But I was like, oh, we ain't seen each other in a while. He just extra lovey-dovey, but it was more. He got me. But once after that emotion was over, I had to like think like, is this somebody I want to be with? Because it's not just the the like I said, the honeymoon stage. Like, is this somebody I want to be with
Yes, you do.
for the rest of my life? And is this somebody I want to raise my kids with?
And
My kids. For people that don't know and think that I just jumped into it, I had a lot of thinking to do. I had a lot of people coming to me with what they may have felt or whatever. But I had to do soul searching for myself, because even if I said yes at that moment, I still could have said, you know what, I've been thinking, no,
you
this is
had no
not gonna work.
choice.
This is not gonna work. This, this is not gonna work for me. Because once, everybody always say this, but you should say and go in with that kind of mindset. But once we get married, we're not gonna get a divorce. And so, in order to make that work, once I had that mindset, I had to start observing stuff. He didn't know I was thinking like this. I had to start paying attention to how we deal with each other when we did come to a problem, how we dealt with it. Was a situation that happened so close to our wedding. I was like, hey, told you I had to start speaking my mind. I was like, hey, if this don't change, then hey, we don't have to. We're not getting married. That was just point blank. That was a little rough patch, but you know how some of y'all know how it is with dealing with wedding stuff. But I seriously, because that's something you got to pay attention to before you go into that kind of long term situation. You have to look out for yourself a little bit as well. Then when you come together, when y'all say I do, y'all are one. So can we get over this together? So you observe stuff, and just because people say yes, it doesn't mean you gotta. Oh, I say yes, we getting married. No, still make sure this is what is good for you as well. And if you already have kids, what's good for your kids, and all of that stuff, because this is a serious thing. You don't want to get a divorce. So, um, girlfriend to wife, overall, our transition is really the same. We just still learning. Like, we're married for 3 years today, and we still learning stuff. And now we have even more to learn, because we're learning how to parent together now. We learning. So
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna always you're gonna always be learning. So transition wise, it was kind of the same, but now, like, I have more of a right for a lot of more stuff, because I'm your wife. Like, who was you talking to Saturday night on the phone?
I don't know what the hell you talking about, nigga. Yeah.
Now we tied in together like this, allegedly. Listen, most of our first year of marriage, Tevin was in school. Actually, no,
The whole
I lied.
year
The
and a half.
whole year and a half, yes. He was in school for the first whole semester. The second part,
Had to go to
he
tour.
went on tour. We had an apartment, everything in Dallas. He was in Preview. Then he went back and finished, and that at that point we were 7, 8 months pregnant when he finally came home for good. It's not easy, because like, for instance, I was pregnant. Honestly, I guess our son knew, because for a lot of first, he it was like when he first moved, when I first felt him move, on the outside where everybody else can feel him. His dad got to be there for it. It was the day he was supposed to go back, so he didn't really miss much. But still, like, it was a first pregnancy, you would want him to be there. But it worked for us. It's not easy. If you don't have to do long distance, don't do it. It wasn't easy, but we've done long distance relationship. We've been up close and personal, all of that stuff, and we have survived it. So what I would always tell people from my learning experience is, what works for us is not gonna work for you. You can hear what we say and try to tie it in for you maybe, but we're not doing this to say you need to do how we did it, because this is how it's supposed to go. No one can ever do that, ever. Because, like, my father has taught me, what may work for this relationship or you is not going to work for somebody else, and it's not.
We've been through the long distance, close distance, you know,
Wanting to break up.
living with each other's parents, living separately, living together. But no, not everybody can do that. And honestly, I can say it's made us stronger, and it's built us up, built our relationship to where it is today. So
We're gonna start talking about more things of how what we go through and how we feel about it.
Following along and follow this
We
journey with
will
us.
still update. We will still have videos about our family because Trinity is almost here. Almost. She's have to be out hopefully soon. But we'll still give updates for our regular updates. But we want to start talking about more um, not relating events. I can't think right now, y'all, because the girl is kicking my butt. But anyway, that's all, and thank y'all for supporting us. Everybody that support us, and good night.